because of the big comeback, do you think there was a great pep talk? And have you ever had one of those when you were losing a game or a fight back then and come back from it?
Have you wrestling or?
Well, you're
gonna come back from it.
Taekwondo?
No, you'll laugh.
Did coach give you a pep talk?
No, you'll laugh. I'll
tell you my thoughts on pep talk.
Okay, so I had we were about to do a play, and when you do a play, it's an ensemble, and you want to have energy, and you want to go out there, and people are a little nervous, and we were young actors, and a wonderful actor named Herb Edelman, who was on the show Golden Girls, he was directing us, and at American University in a play. I don't know if Herb Edelman is still alive. Can you look that up? Because he was awesome. And he
take your word
goes,
for it.
and he gave us a pep talk, and he was like this. He was like, and I want you out there going, ka, 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 ha, 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 ka, ka. I'm an actor. And he was telling us how he wants us to get ready for it and stuff.
Trying to give you guys energy.
I'm embarrassed to say this, but he was so convincing that I found, this is embarrassing. He was going, ka, ka, ka. And I went, and I'm an actor. And are you actors? Are you actors? And I went, yeah. I got swept up in the moment. I go, yeah!
Did everyone else?
And everybody was like, huh? Looked at me. I was like, oops. And I never get rah-rah like that. And I got caught up in the moment.
Cut by the moment.
Sure did. And embarrassed myself with my fucking enthusiasm.
That's
because I was the lone, yeah! I was the lone.
Back to the, that's hilarious, B. I wish I could have seen that. I wish I was on tape.
I kind of jumped up to my feet.
Back to like pre-game, post-game, halftime speeches. At the professional level, it's not needed. Those guys don't need. There's really no motivational thing you can do to get those guys to get back on track. They kind of it's within. And I think if you need someone to motivate you to win the Super Bowl or to make a comeback, you're probably not going to make it that far. Same thing with the thing with fighting coaches. They never really said anything to me where I'm like, God damn, he's right, man. I need to go out there and win this. It was more of not making sure you don't say the wrong thing.
Ooh. Oh yeah,
I had a coach one time. I was training. I was here in LA doing a camp, and then I'd bounce back to Denver. So he was a little bit out of the loop, and he'd go. He'd like to walk and and look back on your career. It's the day of fighting. You have nerves, and just like how you got there, and go through all the steps. And he's all, maybe just have an off day, maybe just did a lot of drugs, and he'd be like, I want you to think back when. You're on The Ultimate Fighter and that finale and the happiness you had when you fought Roy Nelson. I was all, what? And my eyes are closed. I'm all, well, I lost it. When he goes, you can see, you realize you fucked up. He goes, that's right. And
God!
My other coach is there. Going,
he's improvising now. Now he's improvising.
Well, he goes, that's right. Well, you don't want that feeling again. Okay, so let's just fast forward. Okay, let's fast forward that. You don't want to talk about it. That's fine. So let's talk about your girlfriend, the way she makes you feel at the time I didn't have a girlfriend. I'm like, what? Well, remember I left her in Denver. I broke up with her. He goes, I know, but I want you to. Okay, you know what? Let's restart.
Oh no, worst mental. Yeah,
and I'm like,
all time.
This is before LeVar Johnson. I'm like, God damn it. And he goes, all right. You're in Brazil. I'm like, all right, man. I swear I can't make this up. You're in Brazil. It's the biggest fight of your life. I'm like, you know what, man? Why don't we just not? I was like, I'm good. I'm all set on this. But I think it's more about the coaches not saying the wrong things.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the back and if they say, make sure you don't get caught with this, you're like, what the fuck, man? Or make sure you don't get knocked out. Like there's trigger words that you do not want to hear.
My nephew tells this hilarious story about the coach that got fired from his senior year in high school, who was the worst coach on the planet. He would be like, they big. I didn't know they're that big. They big. They're a lot bigger than us. And then he goes, we practiced for this. Well, we didn't practice for this. He was the worst coach. He was the worst.
That's hilarious.
He'd literally say that stuff. Damn, they big.
I've had some good coaches that'll get you like fired up before. I mean, high school, you need that in high school. Or lacrosse, high school lacrosse.
I love when people get fired up. Like, do you ever see that video on the guy on the subway when they killed Bin Laden? You see that guy?
USA.
He goes, all right, guys. After me, USA.
After Bin Laden
USA.
Not a peep.
Nobody in New York.
I would have been doing it. USA.
Nobody. They were like, and he goes, all right, guys. Well, oh no.
There's been some
So embarrassing.
There were some times where players, especially in college, they'd get around the group, the captains, and they obviously didn't pre-think this shit out. They'd say some stuff, and you're just like, the fuck are you talking about, man? And you just can't get behind it, but you kind of have to. Like, there's those awkward moments.
My wrestling coach would just say one thing. He goes, all right, good luck. Keep your head up. All right.
You
don't need much by the time you're ready, I mean, there are people, I guess, that can give you
There's some motivational people where you feel like you run through a wall, but at a certain level, especially for, like, no one's in Tom Brady's ear giving him motivational speech.
I had an acting teacher that would get you, like, he'd tell you why being an actor and a good one mattered for the general human experience.
See, I think that's good.
It was amazing.
I think, like, when someone can take you out of the moment at hand, because sometimes the moment can feel so big, they can take you out of that and be like, listen, it's not that big. Here's what's going on. Here's the grand scheme of things. Don't overanalyze and make it so big. That stuff's good.